Yes, lads, joebiline here, and today we have episode 1 of this Manchester City career mode. Massive thanks to EA who invited me out to their FIFA 18 capture event in London. This video and everything in this series is presented by the EA GameChangers network. I managed to get a full season recorded while out there because we was there for a few days, and I thought, let's get a full season of career mode recorded. Let's do a big team because we knew we'd only do one season, so we wanted to try and win what we could in the first season, and we weren't able to really focus on youth or anything. It was a case of get some players, get some money, and just try and win the league and the Champions League and win everything basically. To make sure that I was able to record a full season, the general basis of most of the episodes once we get into the season and after pre-season is done is that we'll play 2 games of video and sim 2 games in them videos. It may change roughly depending on the games. I tried to make sure we played all the big games and then we simmed some of the smaller games, so we got the big exciting games in there. As you can see in the background, just setting up the manager now. The managers, we've got a few extra managers to choose from this year. You saw that transfer budget with Man City. We've got quite a nice transfer budget, and I had my eyes already thinking, Man City, they're already a pretty much strong team. We made the half lengths 4 minutes as well, just so we could get through them quicker. Started on professional. Literally, this is like the first week in playing FIFA 18, so I'd played a few games previously at Gamescom and EA Play, but I thought let's start at a professional, and if needs be we can up the difficulty. We'll use pre-season to set our tone and the early games. So we started there and went on in board straight in. Obviously, one of the very first things you do in a FIFA 18 career mode is you are given the opportunity of choosing to enter a pre-season tournament. They introduced this last year, but like in real life, teams go off to foreign countries and play in pre-season tournaments rather than just, they play a few friendlies, but there's pre-season tournaments as well, and we get the option to partake in one. You don't have to, but you get some nice prize money if you can win them. So we'll just go for the Asian Elite Cup, the hardest one with the most prize money. It's got a nice selection of teams in there, and it should test us off nicely to start with, so we can get a feeling for the game and how difficult it's going to be this year or not. But first off, obviously we want to go check the squad out, see how everyone's doing, see some of the ratings they start with. The transfer's already done, but I saw that it said Kyle Walker signed for 30. We know it wasn't 30. He'd signed for 50, but that's semantics really. EA little mistake there, but it doesn't affect too much of things. Just going for a squad off. So we have got a lot of youth players, quite a lot are out on loan already, but once we've checked these, we do go ahead and just list the rest of them for loan. Literally, it doesn't really matter about youth this season, I didn't think, and I just wanted to play the best and get the best up. I didn't need to focus on doing youth and training them up and bringing those into the club. If we carry on and do a full career mode once the game's out after this, then we'd obviously go into that more carefully, but because this is just one season, win what we can, try and do it all with a top team. It was the settings, we had to prioritise the players we had. They did kind of want some youth development done, but it was low priority because they rank your objectives out of 5, I'd assume. Financial, low, very low. Didn't even give me what I had to do. Financial youth development a 4, the others a 1. They wanted money and they wanted titles, and I was prepared to bring them to them. Although one of the scouting options did come up was Ben Brereton of Nottingham Forest. Cracking young player in real life for us. Very lucky to have him, and I hope we can keep him longer. But I thought, let's bring him over, give him a taste of the top life and use him sporadically. And we thought, let's just have a look at a couple of youth just to see if we do want to complete that. Jesus, Sterling, De Bruyne, Edison and Stones were the 5 players we chose to do training on. I did do the training on them, doing them auto sim them every game, and for the most of the season they're the 5 that I have them upgrade. I just focused on 5 players that I wanted to try and get up as high as we could, and our very first game in this pre-season was going to be Juventus. Nice test. City's default formation is a 5 back, and I thought I do kind of want to play 4-3-3. That's what I like to play, 4-3-3, with attacking wingers exploding down that wing, cutting inside, shooting, passing back in and whatnot. But I thought, let's give the default 5 at the back formation a go to start with, but it felt quite criminal leaving some of our wingers on the bench. But we have got some nice explosive wing backs in the form of Mendy and Walker, so maybe they can substitute that option, and it means we get to play Jesus and and Aguero up top together rather than having to leave Gabriel Jesus on the bench. But that's how it went. So we actually got off to a perfect start. 5 minutes in, pretty much passing around, the ball fell to us and De Bruyne was there to bag. De Bruyne, I knew, was going to be a very, very, very special player for this season. Good old Belgian Kev. And he started perfect. Then thinking, okay, yeah, maybe professional is going to be very, very easy, and I should definitely go up. However, I started playing, I realised I actually just had a really, really good start to the game, and it was a very nice sequence of movements. But Jesus wasn't done on the act. And on the 35th minute, as I was still getting used to and accustomed to the game, I thought, let's just try a long shot and see how this goes. A nice finessed shot on the edge of the box. And to my surprise, it went in. I was like, okay, good. Finding my feet here, finding what works, finding what's comfortable. And that, I couldn't have asked for anything better there. Just a few little ball rolls, done the defender, left him for dead, because that's what I find you need to do this year. If you toy around with the defender, most often than not, you can normally create an opening for yourself, especially when you're playing humans, like in Ultimate Team, in online singles, in however you're playing. If you're playing another human, defending is a lot harder this year. If you've played the demo, which obviously came out a few days ago, although you've played any of your mates yet, you may have realised that defending is a lot more manual work, and it's harder, but it's good, I find, because it's going to create them skill gaps. It's going to make pro leagues more interesting. And in the second half here, you can see Edison did make a save and they had a corner. I thought I'd initially cleared the danger from the corner, but it did fall to Marone, who knocked it into Lalini in the box, who managed to convert. And like that, there was one goal back in it, and I'm not quite sure why he's giving it the big and celebrating so much in a pre-season friendly. But I guess it's a pre-season tournament with cash money on the line. But really, we all know it's just a glorified sponsorship friendly. And like that, it was 2-2. Dybala with an absolutely beautiful finish, and I was thinking, damn, maybe professional isn't that easy. Not that it's not easy, because as you get used to the game, like when the game comes out, I'll move up to world class. I was just thinking, okay, maybe we'll leave it a professional while we're still getting used to the game, if Dybala's going to come out of that, because it felt like we was coasting to start with, and then it felt comfortable, and then out of nowhere goals had come, and in the 82nd I thought a big mistake was going to happen, but luckily Edison got down low to clear it. Aguero quickly got away, who's knocked it to Jesus, and Jesus, the young, wonderful, explosive Brazilian striker, finishes, bags of pace to get away from the defender. 85th minute, the lead is back in our favour, and Jesus is going to give it to the big into the camera. Yaya, De Bruyne, friends joining it, and we've secured the win. 3-2. Very, very much recovered there. I thought we'd blown it. I thought, let's go. We've given the 5 at the back, it was okay, but let's go for the 4-3-3 holding. I do like to have that CDM there. However, City, I feel Yaya's getting older. Fernandinho's okay, but if we're looking at that lineup, that CDM position is one that I'd probably want to improve the most. Yaya may only have a year left. Fernandinho, he's alright, but I'd say he's more of a backup for a team like Man City. So we're going in big, and we're going for Raja Nainggolan. Absolutely amazing player with amazing stats, who can defend, who can attack. He can do everything in that centre midfield role, and I'd marked him down as my number 1 priority because of that rule, that glory, what we call it, objective of having 2 youth. I thought, let's try and get Ronaldo Vieira from Leeds, as well as Brereton from Forest. But Nainggolan's up, and it's time to try and sign him. So in career mode this year on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, they've introduced some Frostbite technology to have these cutscenes. You've probably seen them already, but if you haven't, you can go into these cutscenes where you talk to the agent or the managers. In one type of cutscene where you set out the transfer fee you're looking for. It's a bit of to and fro. You offer, then they'll come back and see if they accept or not. I'll show you one in a future video, but you can't just put anything in, because you can get their agents pretty mad if you try and troll them with offers, and they will not accept it and just walk away. But you'll see that in a future video. I'll include that. But time for seriousness, because we want Nainggolan, because as you'll see in other ones, if you don't succeed with it, there's no second chances. You can't go back in and put a new offer in. Once the conclusion of the meeting's done, of if they've accepted the bid or not, that's what you're going with. If they don't accept the bid, it's gone. You can't try and sign him again. It's not like Football Manager or previous careers where you could just try and offer the player again. But in the end, we end up paying 54 million for Nainggolan, but with a 130 million budget. I thought we don't really need to buy too much youth. Let's just try and get 2 or 3 big signings, and that'll do Man City well, because the squad's already fleshed out pretty well here. But Brereton, we realised after the scouting report we could probably get away with paying 2 million for him. I thought that's okay. I'd be absolutely fuming in real life if we sold him for 2 million. But this is just a computer game, and he hasn't sold. If any clubs out there do want to buy Brereton, 1, he's not for sale, and 2, if he is, it's going to cost you at least 15 mil. In my opinion. You tell, and then you go in. As you can see now, we've got Nainggolan in the office. He meets up, he's got a suit on. Is he presentable with his hair and his toes? I'll leave that for you to decide, but he's a footballer, and does he need to be? He's normally in his kit. So we offer him a wage, you see what they're already on, you see what squad roles they want, the release clauses. Nainggolan isn't that young anymore, 28, 29, 29 I believe he is now. Yeah, there it says there, 29. And we're only playing 1 season. It was 160 grand. We did have a 300 grand wage budget, so we can happily provide him with that 160. We know we're going to move a few players on, and we're going to go for it. So from there we can see he's eagerly awaiting to join the rest of the lads. Now at the time of recording this, I wasn't that sure if that definitely meant he'd signed straight away and was already in the club or not, or if they had get a message to say when he joined. Brereton here, I thought I don't need to send myself to do it, so you can delegate it. If you don't want to go to the cutscenes, you don't have to. You can just delegate it to your assistant to go and do it for you, and then it will come back. You set a minimum and a maximum of what you want to go with, then they come back a few days later with if it's been accepted or not, and if you're moving forward with the transfer. I realised afterwards that Nainggolan, that meant he'd signed now, and he was now with me. So we simmed the next game against Bayern Munich, and it didn't go too well. We ended up losing 1-0, as you'll see in a moment later. But that is the first episode about wrapped up now. We've made a good start with Juventus. We've signed Nainggolan. The squad's shaping up. Do leave a like if you enjoyed this. It will all be post-com. If I do a career mode full series afterwards, I'll do that live com. With post-com, I'll do a hybrid of both, depending on what's going on with it. But I hope you did enjoy this first episode. Do leave a like. Let me know what your thoughts below. And we'll see you back in a few days for episode 2. Peace.